Hey guys, Ocean Way UAD plug-in. Let's put it on some horns. It's Christmas in August. Pow. This plug-in here that we're talking about today is the Ocean Way. This is the Ocean Way Studios plug-in from UAD. So this studio is actually Alan Sides set up this this plugin and the mics and the scheme and all that stuff to get this right. But I wanted to show you guys a little piece of music from Andrew Morgan Smith that is available for licensing, by the way. And I'm going to show you how I placed sort of these recorded horns that were all, recorded tight and dry and separate. How I placed them into a room and then made them a big band. So check it out. I'm just going to play a little piece of the music. Wow, takes you right to Christmas in August. All right, so how did we get this? How did we get these horns in this room? Did we just throw some reverb on them? Well, you can do that if you're a novice. What we did here is, I'll show you in groups. Here's the saxes. I'm just going to solo these out. All right, so all together, right? So what we can do here is with the saxes, I've sent all of these to the all brass bus. Now this all brass bus that I have here has a Vari-Mu on it, little compressor action, and then it has the Ocean Way. Now you can see here, this is Studio A, and the source is horns. That's the idea, right? So you're taking microphones. In this case, I'm taking M50s in Omni, and I'm putting them in front of a source in a room. So this is actually modeling a room, which is really, really cool, and it's really math heavy. So you have to have the universal audio stuff. It's going to work off the DSP chips, and you need to have a lot of DSP because this thing will just eat it. It just eats DSP for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Trust me. Now, what we do with this is we're basically saying, hey, put the horns in the room, let's mic it, and let's figure out where we want the wet to dry. So I am using this in reverb mode, which is a lot different than just re-miking it and then taking the mics and blending them, etc. But really important distinction between this plugin and say like an altiverb or a convolution reverb is this is not just going and taking a snapshot of that reverb in that room with a mic in a place. This is actually an algorithm that's constantly calculating the walls and the splashes and the source and how they would hit the mics themselves. So it's really incredible. Like it's mind-blowing. So you have different mic sources. I just want to show you a little layout of this. You can go into Studio A or Studio B, right? And you're just going to get different rooms. This is for horns. You can do drums, strings, depending on mic placement, etc. Then you have the mics, and you have the 3 mic positions, right? So you have a near, a mid, and a far mic. I'm going to play you this with these saxes soloed, and I'm going to start to blend this wet dry knob. Super cool, right? It's like you're pushing it back further in the room without the use of reverb, which is like amazing. So this is a really powerful tool. Obviously, we are talking about reverb here because you're modeling a room, which is the reverberation of the room with microphones in the room. But it's also it's a little more than that. It's a little more math and stuff. And it's a really powerful plugin for placement of things that are dry. So you can start to place your different sections. So these are the saxes, but also have horns as well. And you can get into the trumpets and you can hear these. And you can kind of just hear how those are ringing off in the room. And then also the coolest thing is I can start to place these together. So here's the saxes, here's the horns, the trumpets, and not the trombones yet, but here's the piano as well. And on the piano, I did another scheme, a different miking scheme to put the piano in the room in the corner. And I'm miking it up differently, but it's in a different studio as well. So I'm getting a different kind of depth here, and I like to play around with different reverbs. Something you can really do to get texture and you can get your things to sound more real, like real life, is to use different verbs, different blends of reverbs, so that their harmonics kind of cross over and they blend, and it'll give you kind of a glue, and it'll give you space instead of just using one reverb on everything. You might use a short reverb, you might use a long reverb. In this case, I'm using a room, and I'm modeling the room in different rooms, but then I'm also using like a Lexicon 224 to give me some tail on those rooms. Just a little shimmer on the top and stuff. So these are really powerful plugins. I highly recommend you check out this plugin. But here's the piano. I'm just going to show you. This is a little more close mic'd. Cool, right? It's piano in a room. Let's get rid of the plugin. Let's just bypass it. Here's what the piano sounds like without it. Here's with it. Just gives you a sense of like, here's walls, you know, it's really cool. So check out this plugin. It also has an EQ on it. There's some other features on here where you can see the master EQ. You can see what I'm doing. I'm taking some of the low stuff in the room. So I'm getting rid of some of the low stuff by shelving it down, and also some high stuff. And then you can see the interior, which is a really cool graphic, and then it'll talk a little bit about it. But here's the most important stuff, is just like clicking through these mics, understanding the mic choices. You know, what are the mics? They're all pretty vintage mics here. U67s, you know, M50s, M49 and Omni, basically, 2 capsules. And then you can blend these mics. You can unmute all of them, right? So you have the 3 mics. You can start to mess with distance, bringing them together. You can, you know, get rid of stuff. You can start to balance them. Like, I want this one right, this one left, this one up the middle, whatever. And then you can start to blend their levels, right? So. And then you can bring in the dry wet knob here. So there it is, the Ocean Way Studios by Alan Sides, UAD. You guys are killing it. Love you guys. It's Christmas in August. Tune into more Radium POWs, the Radium podcast below. Don't forget to subscribe. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Have some eggnog. It's August.